Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. We are back with the Ted Show. I am super excited to have this beautiful, wonderful young woman, great friend of mine, amazing friend of mine actually. Candace Griffin is on the show today. We are going to talk about how there are opportunities for investors everywhere. And this isn't just in the real estate realm. This is in technology and so many things. And Candace has her finger, her whole hand, I think, on the pulse of that. Welcome, Candace. How you doing?
Amazing. Better than ever.
Well,
is this
good.
really my life? Like
you look great.
Thank you. So do you always.
Well, thank you very much. All right. So we love origin story on the show. So people want to get to know you.
Okay.
And you've got a great story, so share as much of it as you'd like, but they like to kind of know the background and how you got to this place of being an investment wizard or wizardress, I guess.
Wizardress. Okay, that's a good one. So it's kind of interesting how life happens, as we know, right? I worked for a company called NewView, and they are a self-directed IRA custodian, and I'm obsessed with them, right? And they opened my eyes to a lot of things that most people don't know. And I'm an incredibly curious person whenever it comes to topics that relate to things that most people don't know. Because I'm surrounded by incredibly intelligent people. So whenever I find these things that we should know, I'm pumped and I'm ready to tell everybody, right? Because that's just how my brain works.
That's
want to do this. I want to share, right? So after NewView, I went into the world and met a few people along the way that, you know, we're all on a path, right? And on that path, we have some wins, we have some misses, we have some, you know, it's just the path. But once you arrive, you know it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yes.
You know it. And this year, a very good friend of mine, Erin Whitehead, she's a brilliant coach. She coaches doctors on burnout, and we just happened to connect in another way, and she's become a very dear friend of mine, and I'm obsessed with her. She said to me, I said, you know, I want to be focused on alignment this year. And she said, no, you want to be focused on radical alignment. And I'm telling you,
love that word, radical.
Oh my goodness, Ted, when I started focusing on radical alignment, it made me make different decisions about who I was talking to, who I was spending time with. And every step I took, somehow alignment didn't hold enough power for that because I was still kind of like meandering around, right? But whenever I put radical there, it's like God just said, she's ready. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
It's crazy.
I feel like radical is an approach we should all take for the passions that we have. I feel like we leave it in mediocrity, but radical is really where you're just going, you're really truly going for it. You're really intentionally creating whatever the world is that you want it to be. Mm-hmm. And so I love that she added radical to that.
Yeah, it was pretty brilliant, and I'm incredibly grateful for her.
So before you got
those
into
conversations,
NewView,
it's funny how some conversations. Yeah.
Before you got into NewView, tell me a little bit about Candace.
So Candace did some real estate, right? I found that residential real estate is not for me because I have a bleeding heart and I just want to give everyone all of my money. And I cut my commissions and I believe the sob stories, and I'm driving across town to teach a guy how to email with my sick kids in the car. You know, like it just wasn't for me personally, right? I'm incredibly, I wanted that to be me. My realtor friends, I love everything that they do. I wish I could be more like them, you know? But whenever it comes to people on that personal level, I have a hard time not overstepping and trying to help too much, right?
Well, yeah, you have a heart. It's and everybody's got a story, and you know, I understand why you made a move.
Yeah.
But it's been a positive move. It's been an amazing move. All right, so tell us what radical alignment did for you. How did you actually implement that? Because I know people are going to ask, well, that sounds good, Ted, in theory, but what did she actually do?
Right. So doors started flying open. Okay. Like all of them. And there's some people and some relationships that have been unfolding over the last 12 months that just everything came together, right? Right. It's not right place, right time, right? But it kind of is. It was time and I'm ready. So now I'm doing a couple of exciting things, right? Number one is, bread and butter, right? I am working with private capital. We have 200 million to deploy at any time, and it is no doc funding. It is for if any investor has a deal fall apart, a real estate deal, right, fall apart because of funding, then you got to talk to me because I'm
still here, by the way.
Right. So there's literally no social security number needed, nothing like that. It's 100% asset based. So if, for example, your banker says, I'm sorry, you're not bankable on this deal because you're too good on your taxes, right? I mean, you show that you made $24 last year, Carl. How are you going to be bankable for this, right? You're too good at this. So this is the price you pay. So that banker would say, but I have a dear friend, Candace. You should give her a call. Maybe she can do something for you, right? And that's what I do all day, every day.
Those are mostly investor driven.
Yeah.
Is it commercial too?
Commercial, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's awesome. So I think people get confused by the alternative ways of doing things, and when you hear private funding, or we used to call it hard money, that's not what you're talking about.
No, this is not hard money. It's completely different than hard money. It's soft money. And we're very specific about what we'll do. It is a niche, a very specific niche. So we'll do $100,000 to all the way up, right? It could be a duplex. It could be a hotel, but if you have one way or another, if the investor has, and I mean one way or another, 40 to 60% equity in the deal, we will do that all day long.
Yeah.
Right. So it's easy. Like all we don't need documents and returns and blah, blah, blah. We need an address and an appraisal and let's get after it. And then really,
you don't have a website. We had a bunch of people ask me about that. You don't have a website. So at the end, I guess, tell us where they can reach you, right?
I will actually put a few ways to contact me in there.
Good.
I just don't need one, for what I'm doing.
Listen, you know what? We were talking about websites on an earlier show, and people really aren't utilizing websites like they used to. They're going to people's social media pages. So, the old school still wants to see it because for a lot of people that gives you legitimacy. I don't know why, but it does.
Right.
But yeah, there's a million other ways to reach people. And it doesn't necessarily mean it's best business.
I'm here to save relationships and solve problems, right? So if I don't have a website, they're still going to pick up the phone. You know what I mean? I have a great reputation. My name is all I have. I've been here since I was born.
It's perfect. So tell me about other than real estate, because you also do I call it a mastermind. It's a mastermind happy hour kind of amazing event that's very investor centric, but not necessarily just real property.
That's right. That's right. I have learned to become very excited about a number of things recently. I'm an advisor with Birch First now. And it is like when I say I jump out of bed in the morning, like I literally am that person now that they talk about in the books where you wake up and make a note and go back to sleep because you have an idea. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
This is it, right? Well, I've learned a lot about private placements. And, I come from the self-directed IRA world, right? So I remember when I was just a baby over there and somebody would say they wanted to invest in private placements with their Roth, I was like, what are you talking about? What does this mean? You know what I mean?
Totally.
But then I also got to see how many zeros were in their account. And I'm like, tell me more, right? So the thing with private placements is people with wealth know you want around 10% of your portfolio in angel investing. And there's a reason for that, right? Before I knew anything about this, angel investing sounded terrifying. I'm like, that's like flushing money down the toilet, right? And then I learned about it and I'm like, of course these people do not just sink $250,000 to $1 million into something that is a total freaking sham. They're intelligent. They, you know what I mean? They go through the process and the documents, and what I know now is called the data room. And they make a sophisticated decision based on what they see. And some things, honest to God, they just look like it. Some of these things are like printing money. Okay.
Well, I know that's how you, so what I have noticed since you shifted is that the creativity, you're always a creative, but the current market and the current technology and investments, it's all this amazing unraveling world. And you have just embraced bringing as many people together to also capitalize on all of the wonderful things that are going on. And by capitalize, I mean become aware and invest in.
Yes. Yes. I mean, so I have 3 things right now that I'm really focused on, right? One of them is called Pretio, and it is an operating mine, right? So that's the key. It is operating. It's not someone who's going to maybe open a mine if you give them some money and they don't have the geological studies and they don't have like an intense history with it and et cetera, right? This is operating. And they have a process for doing things that I can say very little about without somebody going into the data room. So if you want to know more, you gotta email this. I'll put it in a link later.
Yeah, so you'll put that in because that's pretty fascinating stuff.
It's beyond fascinating. Like you literally, your eyes are going to pop out of your head. Okay, I'm not kidding. Completely serious. But they have a way of doing things that produces 10 times more. So if you put two next to each other, right, you're going to get more out of it because of the way that they do things. It's a very unique way, right? And the mines that they have are some of the richest geologically in not just the precious metals, but also the rare earths. And like when you hold your phone, right, there's like 8 rare earths in there. And their mine has like 16 rare earths on top of everything.
Wow.
And it's like there's a lot going on that's like, right? And then
before you go to number 2, I want to tell you, Stacy McKay just sent you love. She said Candace is awesome.
Oh, I love Stacy. Stacy's wonderful. I met her at New View. Some people are very memorable, and she's one of them. So number two. Okay, so Caviar is this super fun app. So this lady, Marissa Sachs, she was a host on Millionaire Matchmaker, and she had a brilliant idea to have a lifestyle app that not only is like, it's called Caviar, so it's high-end dating, and that's how it started. But then she's like, I want more than that, right? I want to be able to go to events with people that I think I'm gonna like and vibe with, right? And I want to have business meetings with people that I think I'm gonna like and vibe with. So this app creates events, right? So you as a user, so me, that speed dating for investors event that I had,
Yes.
Could have had that on the app, right? And on that app, I could have said, you can swipe left or right on who you want to attend. So if somebody sees your event and they're like, I want to go there, right? They okay, bing, I want to go. And you check out their profile and you're like, or
Not so much.
right? Like you can control the intimacy of the event. So it's really cool. It's very cool. But you can do it internationally. Like you can say, I'm going to be in Ibiza and we want to hang out with 3 other couples on a yacht. And you know what I mean? You can do that. Or
and that app is in a fundraise, an investment stage right now, correct?
It sure is. Yep. It is. And she has connections and she knows what she's doing whenever it comes to, she knows what business or what company is going to buy her out when she gets to a certain stage, right?
Yeah, I love it. So good.
She has connections to Bumble and all. She's on point. So,
and where do people find out about that? Will you put that in the comments later too?
I sure will. And then, are we ready for number 3?
Number 3, tell us.
Zsphere is very special to me personally, right? It is a disaster. It's a solution to so many problems. It's hard to put into words, right? So Zsphere is I want to show you a picture. It's like a portable home or micro utility station or micro solar station, or it's disaster proof, right? So for me, I like to communicate this one through stories, right? So you're in Puerto Rico, right? And you experience an earthquake. And there's a zone where there's earthquakes happening all the time, right? A lot of these schools have not been rebuilt yet. Like there's a lot of pain and suffering going on there that a lot of us have turned a blind eye to. And it's pretty disgusting how long it's gone on. But I think the problem is they don't have a viable solution, right? That's part of the problem. So Zsphere is actively going over there and they are building these structures to show proof of life, right? Like this thing will float up because it's tethered on these things. This thing will float up in a hurricane surge, right? And then come back down and you're in there safely. It is, wow. It has its own, it's completely self-contained. It has its own power, water filtration. I mean, everything you need is in there. You will survive and you will be safe, right? Wow. In this, right? They make them in different sizes. So remember, you grew up in Florida too, right?
Yes.
Do you remember pods?
Yes.
Okay, so they could have a bunch of pods of these as classrooms, you know, instead of, and they're so lightweight because of the maybe I can't say it without some, anyway, so they're very lightweight. It's like 3,000 pounds. You could literally put one of these in one of the California wildfires and let the firemen go into it, let the fire pass them, and then pick it up with a helicopter and move it again.
Wow.
You know what I mean? FEMA's
That's unbelievable.
Like FEMA's loving this. You could, in Key West, have you heard about how they are literally buying people's properties so that they don't rebuild? Did you know about this in the Keys?
No.
Oh yeah. They are buying properties from them because of the they can't afford to keep rebuilding, you know, the water situation, FEMA, like everybody's like, get out of here. This place is going away. You know what I mean?
Right.
But if you put a couple of those there, wow. We have some fun
really
resorts.
Cool.
It's really
so
cool.
How do people, so when somebody has an investment idea, and then we'll start to wrap it up. When somebody has an investment idea, or somebody is at a certain level in their investment process of trying to get maybe an app done like Caviar, or maybe a Zsphere project, they go to you, they come talk to you, right?
Yeah, and then I'll put them with the right people. I am a matchmaker, really, when you think about it, right? So if you have something rolling around in there it's your job to share it with the world, right?
Yes.
So
yes.
it's don't be shy, be in service. You know, don't keep it up there. Don't be quiet.
Amen.
Yeah.
All right. So tell them what's the best way to reach you? What's the best way for them to get in touch with you and
Facebook
share?
friend me. I love Facebook friends. I love LinkedIn friends. You can call me. Okay. 321-948-3246. You can email me, Candace at birchfirst.com. So CANDACE at birchfirst.com. And I'll put all that in the links.
Yep.
You can message me. Ted knows I'm a communicator.
He is a communicator 24/7.
Yeah, I can't stop. I love it. It's not a burden.
All right. You're a joy. That was awesome.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. I love having you on the show. Got to come back when we got more stuff to talk about. I love it. You guys, if any of that sounded interesting to you, reach out to Candace. If you got an idea, reach out to Candace. If you've got some money you want to invest, reach out to Candace.
It would be very wise.
See where it's at. All right, Candace Griffin, thank you so much, guys. We'll be back later.